Hello everybody, it's Jamie from Old Shipping Lines and welcome back to a new video. Today we shall talk about the final moments of Captain Edward John Smith. What was it like? What was he doing in the moments of Titanic sinking? And how did he die? We're gonna all cover that, so I hope you enjoy and let's begin. So, Captain Smith, he had been 40 years at sea. And of course he would have had incidents like the Olympic and Hawk, but never actual big sinkings like the Titanic itself. It was also known that after the maiden voyage of the Titanic that Smith would go with pension. Now this man was well liked by his crew, of course by his family, and also of course by his passengers. Later in his life, he always commanded ships of the White Star Line which were going on their maiden voyage. But nothing could have prepared him on the night when the Titanic sank. Now, we all know when the Titanic hit the iceberg, Captain Smith was asleep and he was awakened by the collision. So, of course, he went to the bridge to see what's going on. He met Murdoch there and he asked what it was. Murdoch replied with, "It was an iceberg, sir." And that's when all the events began. So he sent a fourth officer, Joseph Buxall, for an inspection, and he made a quick inspection of the ship and returned to the bridge to report that he had found no damage, which might have been relieving for Captain Smith. But whatever relief Smith might have felt at that moment was quickly shattered when Thomas Andrews, as we all know the head designer of the Titanic, reported that his inspection revealed flooding in at least 5 of the Titanic's 16 watertight compartments. So he told the captain that the ship was going to sink, which must have been crushing to hear, because you hear of Buxall like, "Oh yeah, there's no damage, we're all fine," and you get your hopes up, but then your hopes are again shattered by the news of Thomas Andrews. So I can't imagine what it must have been for him. So Smith of course knew that there weren't enough lifeboats for all on board, but he kept calm, because of course when you're captain of the ship and you are sinking, you have to keep calm, because if you began to panic, then all the passengers on your ship also began to panic, and then total chaos will break loose. So Captain Smith is a fine example of a captain in distress, but who keeps his calm. So that's quite amazing. So like I said, he knew that there weren't enough lifeboats for all on board, but he had still some hope, because of course they saw the mystery ship. And Captain Smith gave orders to signal the ship first with Morse, but they didn't reply, and then with Morse lamp, which they also didn't reply to. So, but he kept telling his crew to keep signaling, because of course you never know what would happen. But sadly, in the entire night they didn't respond. Now the timeline is 12:45 and the crewmen have begun to lower the first of the Titanic's lifeboats to the ocean surface. Although Smith had ordered the boats uncovered some 14 minutes earlier, he didn't give the order to begin loading and lowering them until Second Officer Charles Lightoller reminded him by asking, "Hadn't we better get the women and children into the boats, sir?" And you can see this in the James Cameron movie, which there's actually a scene where actually Lightoller speaks these words to Captain Smith. Now you can also clearly see in the scene that Captain Smith, he was getting in a state of shock, of course, because you're shocked of what is happening. Another instance of when Captain Smith was in shock was that Captain Smith ordered that the lifeboat be lowered from the boat deck to the promenade deck, so passengers could climb in more easily. But somebody said to him, "Haven't you forgotten, sir, that all those glass windows are closed?" "By God, you are right," Smith replied. he had apparently confused the Titanic's partially enclosed promenade deck with the totally open one of her sister ship Olympic, which he had previously commanded. So you can see that Captain Smith was in a state of shock, as we can all understand. So now we're gonna talk about how Captain Smith actually died that night, because there are some versions of his death. So let's begin with the first one. Now the first one is that eyewitnesses apparently saw that he shot himself with a pistol. I personally think that is very unlikely, because if you read in the many Titanic books that are out there, or survivor books about the Titanic sinking, it just doesn't seem like him. I mean, if you read with passenger accounts and if you see how they talk about Captain Smith, he doesn't seem somebody that would shoot himself. So I personally think that is very much unlikely. Now let's move to the next witness account, and that is of wireless operator Harold Bright. Said that he had seen Smith dive from the bridge into the sea. Others said that he was swept off by a wave, having been swept off, swam back to the Titanic to meet his end. Now I think one of the most famous accounts of how he died is to account attributed to the Titanic fireman Harry Sr. Said that Smith jumped off the ship with an infant clutched tenderly in his arms, swam to a nearby lifeboat, handed over the child and swam back towards the Titanic saying, "I will follow the ship." And then again there are still others that believed that he made it to an overturned lifeboat but lost his grip, and possibly when one of the Titanic's immense funnels broke loose and crashed into the water nearby. So yeah, a funnel falling on top of you, that doesn't seem like a good death. And that is the end of the video of Captain Edward John Smith, a man who was well beloved by his crew, his passengers, and of course a well beloved husband and father. So let him rest in peace. I hope that you had good holidays. As a side note, I hope you had good holidays. So what the future holds for the channel is that I am trying to learn a new editing program, which will get the content a more fresher and nicer look instead of only pictures and my voice. So I'm learning how to use that editing program. So if I'm away for a while, that's the reason I'm trying to learn how to use it. So the content for you guys will be, of course, much more nicer to watch. Also a reason why this video took a long time was that earlier these days I was hella sick. I lost my voice completely, and my voice is still recovering, but it's not to the fullest. But again guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I quickly want to thank the subscribers who have subscribed to my account. That really means a lot. We are trying now to reach the 500 subscribers, and I know we can do that together. So if you have friends who like ocean liners or ships, please show them my channel. Again, we are trying to reach the 500 subscribers now. So with that out of the way guys, I wish you a good holidays for the rest of the week and a good new year. And we will see each other in the next video. So goodbye everybody.